Welcome to the Accountability Trader. It's all about accountability, consistency, and growth. Let's have a look at the market. Good evening, traders. It is Friday evening. I know I missed out yesterday's video. I didn't get back from work till really late, and I knew that it was non-farm today, so I wouldn't be trading. So I thought it would be a better idea to evaluate what happened on Thursday and to talk about what happened with the news and how it affected the charts today. So as we normally start, we're starting on the pound against the dollar. On this, I haven't really had anything in my eyes. Friday came in around this area. So at the moment, I wasn't necessarily given any opportunities to get into any trades on this pair at all this week, which is perfectly fine. As we see here, non-farm came in, well, obviously on this candle, shot us up to a level of support or resistance, sorry. This is a level that I would normally want to come into and find a reversal. It's also where I predicted it to come to this week, right from the start. I knew it would come back and test this level, but I was hoping it would happen a lot sooner before non-farm. It's not necessarily something that I can trade around. That being said, going into the next week, I'll possibly play around with these levels, see what opportunities we come up with. But that's the euro dollar. Nothing came about today or yesterday, so let's go on to the next pair. So euro dollar, I've had the opportunity to get in here on, is it Wednesday? So I came in here on Wednesday, clearly put in a good C leg for a butterfly. You'll see over the other pairs, a lot of patterns came up this week. This one took a long time to get any sort of momentum shifting. Absolutely nothing happened, and I ended up getting stopped out at 9 o'clock this morning. Just gave a little bit of a curve and back up. Non-farm hit around here. All of this on Friday is just noise leading up to non-farm. So I could have possibly stopped myself out ideally yesterday, thinking it was putting in good movement, but that could have been me cutting my nose off to spite my face. There's nothing I can necessarily do about that one. Maybe if I came down a lot lower, maybe I came down to this sort of level, I would have just called it a day and got out, knowing that the next day it was going to be non-farm. Maybe I could consider playing with that and cutting it off at maybe midnight on a Friday. But again, this one, it would have made me break even. So I'll consider that going into maybe the end of next or the beginning of next month. So we also yesterday had another C leg put in for hopefully a cipher. The cipher came down, was looking very promising. I wasn't given an opportunity to come in on the C leg like I tried to. It was coming down quite nicely. Put in the massive news candle. As you can see there, spiked it back up again, and it's taken out the C. This isn't then going to be a valid pattern for me. It's going to end up pushing up too high with too big of a retracement. That for me is now done. So going into maybe Sunday, we could look at new levels of structure, what we're expecting from the week. But from that, we'll have to wait until Sunday till we sit down and have a really good look when the markets are closed. So here you can see this pair, the dollar against the franc, had a massive movement going from the non-farm, smashed through the kill level that I was looking at. Again, that happened at midday today. Nothing that I was going to touch. Very interesting to see where these levels play out on Sunday. See what we can predict for the next week. I think really this week done pretty well with the areas of play that we were kind of been expecting. A lot of patterns have come up within them areas. A lot of areas have retested where we thought it was going to retest. At the end, I'll take you through my week's documentation of my trades to show you where I want to improve or how I'm trying to take these trading sessions onto a paper format for me to be able to review and to hold myself accountable. So let's go on to the next pair. So Aussie dollar, this one was a winner, which was beautiful. Again, off the C completion for a butterfly. We had a couple of butterflies this week, which is incredibly rare. Put in a very strong retracement, came into this minor support, which I really liked the look of. It gave me a really good fib ratio as well from this point. At that point, was it the longer one? Oh, scrap that. I didn't go for a fib retracement. I just felt really comfortable with this level. I would normally have gone for trying to get a 1-to-1. Now I'm reevaluating all of my trading at the moment for this reversal trade. I'm finding that in this occasion it was perfect. However, there's a lot of areas where I am leaving a lot of profit on the table. So I'm going to start playing with maybe 2-tier targets, pushing the limit and going for at least a 2 times. So I'm finding when I'm going for a 1-to-1, I can have a good week where I get 3 or 4 wins, give me the next week 3 or 4 losses, and I'm back to break, instead of having a lot more area to still keep the profit building, having the extra risk reward there. So I'm going back through all of my back testing, reevaluating it all, and seeing what I can come up with going forward with this paper trading, this forward testing, and see where we get from there, to see whether it amalgamates me being able to be a lot more confident, building up my account a lot quicker, and be a lot more aware for the challenge that I'm hoping to end up being able to do, hopefully around Christmas. So on this pair, dollar yen, we've got a beautiful Gartley. This one didn't have an opportunity to come in on the C, which was fine. It did come off a really good resistance, just didn't have a chance to get in, which is a shame, but it was playing out really nice. And then again, non-farm comes in, shots me straight through. That is exactly why I don't trade on non-farm. There is a window up until about midday, because obviously up until here it is tradable. However, the entire morning is sideways, just clutter, because no one knows what's going on, and all of a sudden it just shots through. So that would have been a loss for no reason. So that's why we try our best to avoid it. So I can get rid of that for Sunday's analysis. British yen, look at this. Butterfly, Gartley. None of them are played out. However, I would have, let's see what these fib ratios are. I have, this one is a bat. So there is a bat here. If it wasn't a Friday, and it would have, well, looks like it would have played out, there's a butterfly in here as well. So let's get that drawn on just for the sake of it looking pretty. Put that in there. Get that coloured in. Boom, and you've got a bat. So this pair has been beautiful for patterns at the moment. I haven't seen this many patterns paired up like this for quite a while. There's something so satisfying about seeing it all sat in place like pieces of a puzzle. The reason why I colour code it is because I find it a hell of a lot easier to keep note of what pattern is what. It's how I learn. I did flow charts for obviously the butterfly being pink, Gartley blue, bat green, and cipher is yellowy orange. That's how I now imagine them. It's how I see them straight away. Colour, I know exactly what fib ratios I'm expecting from it. For me, it's the easiest way for me to remember, because I was really struggling with being able to remember the fib ratios of each thing and what I was expecting it to look like. Yeah, it's just the easiest way for me to learn, really. So yeah, this pair again on Sunday, I'll clear all of this off because none of them are valid. Technically the butterfly and the Gartley are valid, but it's gone too noisy, I might leave them on to see whether they plan out in the long run. But for me, I like really tight, clean patterns, and that won't give me the opportunity to. Now I've got the Euro Yen. For me, absolutely nothing for me on this pair. Same as the Aussie Yen. We was hoping to get a nice retest of this level. Looks like we might be coming back down to it. If we got a test, I'd look for something around this area. I'm skeptical after the news today, so we'll play out next week and see what comes about. And gold, just up and up and up and up. If you can get extensions, that's amazing. I'd maybe be looking for trying to catch a retracement down at any of the elbows, but for me, that's about it. So let's have a look at my Notion. So this is how I track all my trades. I've got week 1. I've got whether it's a win or a loss, short or long, what it is that has made me go for the trade. I have all of my entry, stop loss, profit, risk, my exit price, so whether it was my profit got hit, whether my stop got hit, the pips win or loss, pre-trade notes, post-trade notes, tags, so was it an impulsive decision, good execution, perfect setup, or affected by news? This is where I'm trying to become a lot more accountable for what I'm doing. So I've realised that I'm very impulsive with my reversals, which I know is fine because it is a very impulsive strategy. However, it's putting me in a lot of danger. And then I've got a pre-trade screenshot, a post-trade screenshot, and then I have my learning notes. So another thing you'll notice is these red faces. So these are my, in hindsight, that's not a trade I take. So in the first week, this is why I've started doing the videos. The first week I had 3 that I just, looking back on, shouldn't have been taken. Okay. So in the first week I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went 5 for 4, which was good. It put me up straight away. This week I had 1 that wasn't activated. I had 3 wins and 3 losses. I am still up on my account, which is nice. I'm not up much. That's why I'm now playing on my risk rewards. So on my paper account, I'm only up 305 quid, which is technically 2 wins, 3 wins. Plainly trading off of 1-to-1 ratios or thereabouts. So I'm trying to improve that. So it's a lot easier mentally as well. So yeah, that's it for Friday. Come again Sunday. We will go over the new week, clear off all of our supports and resistance I'm considering. If not, I will keep them all on and see how the next week plans out. That's it for today's analysis. I'm the Accountability Trader, and I'll see you soon.